And now it's time for Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's talk hookup. For the next 2 hours, join Pete Gray, rock cod Rick Maxa, and this week's special expert guest for fishing information, new techniques to catch more fish, and the most current scoop on what's happening in the water. Let's Talk Hookup is sponsored in part by Yamaha Outboards, official motor sponsor of Let's Talk Hookup. Royal Polaris, the world's finest long-range sports fisher. By Ford, the official truck of Let's Talk Hookup, and Shimano Rods and Reels. Fish with the best. Shimano. Get ready for the fastest 2 hours on radio with the hosts of Let's Talk Hookup, Pete Gray and rock cod Rick Maxa.
Good morning, anglers, and welcome to Let's Talk Hookup. Boy, do we have a great show for you today. Pete Gray's going to be down south in the East Cape. Hopefully we'll hear from him. He's at Palmas de Cortez celebrating our awesome Let's Talk Hookup tournament down there at Palmas. Boy, are we going to have some fun today. Captain Art Taylor from the Searcher is going to be joining us. We're going to be talking all kinds of fishing, long-range fishing, short-range fishing. You stay tuned. It's going to be a great show. You're listening to Southern California's sport fishing voice. It's Let's Talk Hookup on the mighty 1090.
This time of year, the fishing offshore is hit and miss. Some days you struggle, the other days you come home with your limit of yellowfin. Believe me, you never know. But unlike the unpredictability of fishing, you can always count on Ford F-Series pickups. America's best-selling trucks, 39 years and counting. One reason F-150 is so popular with fishermen is the high-strength military-grade aluminum body panels. Chevy, Dodge, and Toyota bodies will all eventually rust, but not F-150. Its body panels won't rust ever. That's pretty important for folks like us that launch boats on a regular basis. And F-150's revolutionary body is bolted to a solid steel frame to make it stronger, more capable, and more efficient than ever. When it comes to trucks, fishermen and fisherwomen can always rely on Ford. And right now is a great time to buy. Special incentives have just been announced. That means bigger savings and lower payments on F-150. Log on to their new website, buyfordnow.com, for all the details. That's buyfordnow.com. Then stop by your nearest San Diego County Ford dealer. They'll be glad to hook you up. Pete here. I was fortunate enough to use the new Simrad NSS Evo 2 touchscreen chart plotter and sonar unit on my boat this summer and fall. And let me say, it's truly incredible. With an easy-to-use tablet-style interface that's fresh but familiar, the new Simrad NSS Evo 2 combines a multi-touch screen with push-to-select rotary dial for precision control and speedy response. As for marking schools of tuna, yellowtail, and more, it's the best. You run over a school, and there they are in full color and high definition. The new NSS Evo 2 built-in sonar technology, including chirp and structure scan, can't be beat. I recently added the Simrad AP24 autopilot to my system. I've had other autopilots before, but I can tell you this one is simple, sensitive, and accurate. It integrates with my Simrad NSS Evo 2. I set a waypoint, touch the screen, and the boat steers to that spot. There's a lot more to the new Simrad NSS Evo 2 system and AP24 autopilot I'd like to tell you, but best just go to your local Simrad dealer or see simrad-yachting.com for more details.
Great boats, free parking, and a fully stocked tackle shop. Just a few of the reasons Seaforth Sport Fishing is a favorite among anglers. Come aboard top charter boats like the Aztec, Cortez, Endeavor, Eclipse, Apollo, Outer Limits, Pacific Star, El Gato Dos, Alexis, Pride, Privateer, Tribute, Pacific Voyager, and the Voyager. Plus, the new Seaforth Sea Watch in San Diego offer the finest half, three-quarter, and full-day trips available. Check out the full-service tackle store at Seaforth Sport Fishing. And it's all run by fishermen for fishermen. 1717 Quivira Road, just off Mission Bay Drive in Mission Bay. Book online at seaforthlanding.com.
If you are looking for a powerful, smooth, great casting reel at an affordable price, check out the Shimano Torium Hg. It's up to 30% smaller than the previous generation, but still has the same line capacity. The smaller S-compact body design and one-piece die-cast aluminum frame provides more rigidity and lighter weight. Torium now has EI surface treatment and has tested up to 700 times the corrosion resistance of past models. The Shimano Torium Hg is not only better on the outside, the inside is amazing, with a cross-carbon drag providing up to 24 pounds of drag pressure from a Star Drag reel. It has a sealed roller clutch and 6.2 to 1 brass gears. The machined aluminum handle has a larger knob to make it easy to crank in the big fish. The new lightweight aluminum spool gives you better casting and control. Available in 3 sizes, the Torium Hg is the next evolution in compact, rigid, and powerful saltwater star drag reels. Get it now at your local Shimano dealer.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup on the Mighty 1090. Boy, going to be a great show for you today. As we said, Pete down in the East Cape celebrating our Palmas de Cortez fun tournament. Going to be a fun one there, and we'll look forward to hearing from him later in the show. But, boy, stoked to have the guy sitting across from me, Captain Art Taylor from the Searcher. Good morning, Art.
Good morning, Rick.
Good
Thanks for having me.
You kidding me? We're stoked to have you. This is the very busy time of year. Just Searcher doesn't stop running all summer long, and I know between you and Aaron, there's a lot of it's not easy to get you guys away because you're always on the boat, and we really appreciate you hanging, talking fishing with us for a couple hours.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Happy to be here.
Well, we're excited. Full swing on the Searcher right now. I know you guys have come off a fantastic season. How's everything been going? How's the Searcher?
The boat's great. The crew's good. Our new chef is awesome, and things are just rolling along. Things are going really, really well right now. The boat got in this morning off a 5-day trip. A little tough sledding on a 5-day trip right now. There's not a whole lot of yellowtail around, so that makes it a little difficult. But he had some small tuna and dorado and a few yellows, and it was one of those ultra-limited load trips with 11 people on it. And so, those trips are fantastic, and I'm going to get right back on the boat this morning as soon as I leave here and go back out on a 6-day ultra-limited load trip.
What is a 6-day this time of year normally? What are the spots that one would normally expect to see on a 6-day trip in the kind of late summer, early fall?
Well, this year's a little bit different. We are having to travel all the way to the ridge to get some good fishing and get everybody a chance at some yellowfin tuna and a wahoo. So that's a little bit different.
Cool,
traditionally we would hope to be fishing offshore for some tuna here within a couple 100 miles of San Diego and some yellows around Cedros or San Benitos or down the coast a little bit further. But the best fishing is on the ridge, so we're going to make the long run and travel for a couple days, fish for a couple days in the spot where it's the best.
Perfect.
And then travel home. So
put the amount of fuel you're going to burn in the back of your mind and just push the throttles down and start heading over.
Yeah, that isn't a consideration. We got to go where the fish are.
That's why the Searcher does so good all the time. That's awesome. So this has been an odd year this year. Not that, you've seen a lot of seasons, but it was a major quality over quantity and fish in different areas, and it seems like is a traditional thing to do. And when it all wraps up, has this been like one that you've had in the past, or was this one just totally unique?
This one is totally unique. It was, I could say, we had some awesome fishing, and we had some challenging trips.
Sure.
One thing that Aaron and I talk about all the time is that this year was pretty consistent, was that it was inconsistent. It was tough to go back to the same place 2 or 3 times in a row and have good fishing. So it was challenging for us, but it was a good fishing year, and there was some awesome opportunities for big bluefin that we don't normally have, and that fish at the 43 Bank and San Clemente Island to be able to get a 75-pound bluefin tuna on a day-and-a-half trip, that doesn't happen every year, that's for sure.
It was really fun in the shop that every time the Searcher was leaving, regardless of length of trip, it was a day-and-a-half, a 2-day, a 3-day, a 5-day, every time, regardless of the experience level, an angler could have been their first time going on the Searcher, could have been whatever. There was a legitimate shot, like you say, a 75 to 100 pounder on every single trip this year.
Absolutely, yeah. And, for whatever reason, they weren't always cooperating.
Sure.
You yourself experienced that in your skiff going out there and seeing great big schools of fish and, whatever we were offering, they weren't interested in.
That's
so
for sure.
That made it challenging, but I think just in general, to have that body of fish around is encouraging for the future.
No kidding. Yeah, no kidding. And the stocks of our tuna, I know that that fish is on the smaller grade that the day-and-a-half guys and you guys have been catching, but certainly sounds like when you get into the zone and find a kelp that wants to bite, it's very, very good fishing. Longer ways from home than I think we'd like it right now, but when you get into it, sounds like some pretty darn good biting fish.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I'd have to call this season a huge success.
No doubt.
One of the things that we did to the boat this year was put that new bait tank on, and
right.
That thing is just awesome, and it works exactly according to plan, and we have the additional bait capacity, and all the clients really like it a lot, and it's just been, it's been a pleasure to have that thing, and we're just really, really glad that we made that improvement to the boat. It's made a huge difference.
Probably nice to know that when you need to throw it, you've got the extra bait in your back pocket. When you're stretched out, you can. If you need to load your bait a little lighter, you can. That probably opens up so many killer options for you.
Yeah, just having the additional capacity takes the stress off a little bit.
I'll bet it does.
I have to put a shout out to Irvingham Bait Company this year. They have just done an awesome job, and all the maintenance and all the new receivers and all that, the expanded capacity and the consistency of the bait this year has just been awesome. Those guys have been busting butt, and we really appreciate that. So Irvingham Bait Company has done an awesome job to keep us in bait for the whole season. It's
probably the most important thing that the majority of us completely take for granted. Obviously a little bit different for a guy that's in your shoes because it's of the utmost important, but us private boaters and passengers that go fishing with you, it's something you don't even think about because they're so consistent and so good at what they do that not having it almost just doesn't even ring a bell for us. It's awesome. We take for granted
awesome.
How our fishery was built on being able to fish with live bait, and those guys, if it wasn't for them, it would be a whole lot different scenario around here.
True, and I think that the live bait fishing is what sets us apart from the rest of the world.
No doubt.
And that's why we're the best.
Yeah, no doubt, man. It's exciting, it's fun, just the style of fishing, the visuals that come with it. There's nothing like it.
Absolutely.
It's we all know what it's like traveling to other places. You go around, you drive around, you wait for a jig strike, you wind it in, you get to trolling around again and wait for another one. And to have the schools and the style of fishing that we got, we're pretty darn lucky. And then to have boats like the Searcher and crews that are around are awesome. And that's one thing that I want to get a chance to talk about beforehand is you guys do such a good job of putting such a killer crew together. We get to see it in the shop and hear from the guys at the top of the dock, and everybody really, really likes fishing with you guys, and I know that that's a major part of it.
Absolutely. We're really blessed that we have, a core group of people that have been with us for a long time, and they're enthusiastic and love what they do, and they love making people happy, and it's all about customer service, and they get that, and so we're lucky.
That's cool. That's very cool. So tell us a little bit about the Searcher. Obviously it's a favorite boat of mine and the fleet and everybody very popular. But for guys that are just getting into it, what kind of trips does the Searcher run? Would you say primarily?
Well, we specialize in kind of shorter range trips from day and a half to 7 days, and I'd have to say that 3 to 5 days is kind of our niche.
Yeah, summertime seems like it's made up of a lot of 3, 4, and 5s.
Yeah, absolutely, and so that's what we do. That's what we do the best, and so that's what we continue to do. And the boat's 95 feet long, and it's got air-conditioned galley and air-conditioned cabins, and we have a great RSW system that preserves everybody's catch, and that's really, really important. 2 years ago, we completely redid all the refrigeration on the boat, and that system just works awesome. It's really, really great.
You've bragged about that a couple times, in that it was as state-of-the-art as they come and just makes your and Aaron's life easier and makes the quality of the product so much better.
Absolutely. And, we take a lot of pride in that, and we take care of our fish, and it comes back in feedback from the processors that, wow, that load of fish that you just brought in was awesome. So that when the guys that are cutting it up say that, then that's a feather in our cap, and we're proud of that.
That's cool. You know you did right when you're hearing that from the boys. You certainly cater to the hardcore angler in a lot of ways. Like you say, expanded bait capacity, killer crew, killer food, killer all these things. In addition to the hardcore long-range fisherman that I know likes riding the boat, anytime somebody ever says, hey, I'm wanting to get into this, I'm wanting to step up from my 3/4 day overnights and I want to do a 5-day trip, or I want to introduce my son or daughter to it, the Searcher is the first boat that I always recommend people to, because you guys, and I've seen it with Aaron and Ryan and yourself and everybody, you guys do such a good job introducing people to things, too. I think maybe take an extra step beyond some of the others do when it comes to introducing people to the boat and that style of fishing.
Well, we have those day-and-a-half trips that are kind of spread throughout our schedule in July, August, and September. And for an introductory thing to long-range fishing, those day-and-a-half trips and 3-day trips are a great stepping stone to going on longer trips. You get a feel for how long-range fishing is. You get to spend an extended period on the boat. A day-and-a-half trips, you got 2 nights on board, and all the food's included and everything. So those are great introductory trips. And somebody that brings their son or daughter, that's our future.
Yeah.
And so we want to make sure that they have fun and have a good time, and we spend extra time with those people. And it doesn't have to be a son or a daughter. It can be anybody that comes out that hasn't been on a long-range trip or a multi-day trip or something like that. Then we take extra time with those people and make sure that they're having a good time.
That's totally. And I don't want to make it sound like this is a starter boat, because it's not the case. Stateroom accommodations, killer bait, killer crew, you guys whoop some serious butt. But I think that it should be noted that how well you do with guys that are new to the sport, and whether, like you say, whether it be kids or adults or whoever, I mean, it's clear that you put extra focus into that, and I think it deserves.
Well,
to be
thank
noted.
you. I appreciate that, and we take pride in that.
Yeah. Heck yeah. The one other thing about the Searcher that I love is the ride, and that boat rides so nice. And I don't know if it's a function of being a wood hull or just the design or what, but that is certainly amongst the most comfortable boats to be on.
Well, I've spent 35 years on it, so I'm a little biased. But yeah, you're right. I think that you would have to say that maybe it's a little bit softer ride. The metal boats are rigid, and they're great boats. Don't get me wrong. I've spent some time on them, but yeah, I think that the fact that it's wooden construction gives it a little different feel.
Yeah, no doubt it does. And the accommodations of the boat, too, is the other thing that we kind of just touched on a little bit, but I always crack up when you talk about, like, the trip that you just came back on with 11 people, but staterooms, very, very comfortable accommodations on the Search as well. I know that was a project. Seems like every year we talk to you, always talk about projects, and I remember when we were redoing rooms and pads and changing the stateroom because, the configuration was always good, but you saw a way that, well, we could change this room around and make it a little bigger, make it a little better, and the boat's always improving for the customer's behalf.
Absolutely. We try and do something every year. And, this past year the bait tank was the big one, but 2 years ago we redid 4 rooms, and we're probably going to redo 1 room this year and try and make the bunks a little better, a little wider. Can't make them longer, but we can make them a little wider. And so, an extra 6 inches makes it a little bit more comfortable. And so we'll look at redoing 1 or 2 more rooms to complete that task. But it's a customer service based business, and so you got to do everything that you can control the best that you can. And so that's why we try and keep improving the boat and making sure that our customers are taken care of.
You guys get that for sure. Well, as you can hear, we've got an awesome show today. So stoked to have Captain Arden here. We're going to be talking all kinds of great fishing, both this 5-day and longer fishing that's going on right now, this good wahoo fishing, all the summertime stuff. Lots of great show coming your way. We're going to check in, get a lobster report today, find out how the lobster season's been going. So much fun stuff to talk about today, and we want to hear from you. If you want to be a part of Let's Talk Hookup, there's 2 ways you can join us this morning. First is with our local line, which is 858 area code 457-1090. Again, 457-1090. That's our local number. Or you can reach us toll-free, and that toll-free line is 877-792-1090. One more time, 877-792-1090. Not only going to be taking your phone calls, answering all your questions, and hanging out talking fishing with Art, we've also got such an awesome prize for one lucky caller at the end of the show today, and that's a brand new pair of Maui Jim sunglasses. It's the Surfrider, which is one of our most popular fishing-style glasses that we sell at our shop. Surfrider is a kind of a square frame with some nice wraparound, a really nice pair of polarized Maui Jim sunglasses. This one has a tortoise-style frame. The lens is the bronze HCL, which I think might be my most favorite lens. It's the super thin glass. They're a really nice pair of Maui Jims, and a great prize for one lucky caller at the end of the show today. So again, if you want to get your chance to talk to Captain Art and your chance at winning a brand new pair of Maui Jim sunglasses, 858 area code 457-1090 or toll free 877-792-1090. When we come back, we're going to be taking your phone calls. Tons of fishing information coming your way. You stay tuned. You're listening to Southern California's sport fishing voice. It's Let's Talk Hookup on the mighty 1090.
Imagine being home in the morning and fishing yellowtail and calicos at Cedros Island by the afternoon. Now you can with Cedros Adventures. Experience world-class yellowtail and calico fishing aboard comfortable pangas with local captains that know the island hotspots. Stay in Cedros Adventures' own private waterfront hotel and experience first-class meals and service with pickups in L.A., Orange, or San Diego County. You hop aboard a scheduled flight to Cedros Island to begin an incredible experience. Trips are all inclusive and offer old world hospitality and fantastic fishing. Cedros Adventures. Call 310-435-6353 or check cedrosadventures.com for rates and more information.
It's time to get outside on the east side and celebrate fall colors, arts, culture, and recreation in the Eastern Sierra. From now until the first snow, there are a variety of activities that capture the essence of autumn. In addition to enjoying fall color viewing, the season hosts fishing derbies and biking events to theater performances, a kite festival, and art festivals. Check out the Outside on the East Side details on the Fall Colors page at visitmammoth.com. That's visitmammoth.com.
Saturday, November 5th, it's Tackle Day at Fisherman's Landing in San Diego. Our largest sale ever. Seminars by saltwater experts, incredible deals on tackle. Over 20 tackle manufacturers like Shimano with great products like Talica, Tranx, Trinidad A, and Terramar. Tackle Day at Fisherman's Landing, Saturday, November 5th.
This is Greg Stotesbury from AFCO. For more than 55 years, the American Fishing Tackle Company has been recognized as the premier manufacturer of precision-built offshore fishing tackle. AFCO continues this tradition today with an innovative technical fishing clothing line designed and built for ultimate performance on the water. From our next-generation fishing shorts like the Tactical Camo or Stealth Shorts to our AF Block sun protection shirts like the Fish Ninja and Samurai Sun Hoodie, the entire AFCO clothing lineup is purpose-built with the latest AFTech fabrics and designed with functional features to deliver top performance for the demanding angler. Visit www.afco.com to find a dealer near you.
Information is the key to success, and inside information is even better. When it comes to fishing, inside information is critical, and that's what FishDope.com delivers. FishDope.com really does help you catch more fish and save fuel. FishDope.com is the only SST service with a satellite oceanographic PhD on board. The only fish finding service with a spotter plane. You get daily catch reports from Point Conception to San Martin Island, 365 days a year. FishDope.com boasts the largest code group anywhere, covering sport boats, commercial boats, and private boaters. FishDope.com has online planning tools, moon phase, tides, hot bite icons, and more. What I'm telling you is, if you don't have FishDope.com, well, good luck. Membership costs less than 40 gallons of gas for the entire year. That's right, 1 year. What a bargain. Plus, stay tuned for the special code to save $20 on a FishDope.com membership. Check it out today. FishDope.com. Catch more fish, burn less fuel. If you've heard the advice Scott Sherman from Fifth Avenue Insurance has given anglers over the past couple of years, you know there is much more to your boat insurance than just a low rate. Well, Fifth Avenue Insurance can not only find you the lowest rates on your boat insurance, they also make sure the coverage you get meets all your needs. What if you had an accident with the boat and found out you didn't have proper coverage? Well, that just won't happen when you insure with Fifth Avenue Insurance. Call them for advice on your current boat policy or any of your insurance needs. Fifth Avenue Insurance, 619-640-3130, or check the number 5 THAVEINS.com.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup on the Mighty 1090. Phones are getting packed up. Everybody's excited to talk to Art. Again, if you want to get through the only line open, we literally have one line that's open in the entire building. That's our toll-free number. It's 877-792-1090. Again, 877-792-1090. Your chance to talk to Captain Art. And let's do just that. Let's jump into the phones this morning and start it off with Dave, who's calling us from Anza this morning. Good morning, Dave. Thanks for getting us started here on Let's Talk Hookup.
Yeah, good morning, guys. Hey, say, Art, before my question for you, I got a quick aside I've got to tell you. My wife and I, we spent this last summer in Alaska. We did a 3-month-long RV trek up there, trip of a lifetime, incredible place. Anyhow, we spent about 10 days in Denali National Park. And one day in Denali, I took a hike into a really remote area, and I was wearing my Searcher T-shirt. Well, I was hiking up the trail, and there was a couple in front of me. I was going faster than them, so I passed them up. And I was about 10 steps in front of them, and the guy goes, "Searcher?" I go, "Yeah." You know, he saw my T-shirt. I go, the guy goes, "God, I fish that boat all the time with Art Taylor." I said, "Well, geez, you know, I fished it on some Let's Talk Hookup trips and Shimano trips, and here we were 4,000 miles away from San Diego in about as remote of area as you can imagine, and two Searcher fishermen run into each other, and we're on the trail talking about the good times we've had on your boat." So
that's awesome. Thank you so much.
That's cool, Dave.
Yeah, just want to let you know that, you know, your reputation followed you up to Alaska, and I was glad to wave the flag for you by wearing a Searcher T-shirt.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Well, anyhow, my question for you, one thing I've often wondered about fishing offshore a little bit longer range, especially now I got a few miles on me, if there was ever a medical emergency on the boat or an injury, say somebody fell down and got hurt, will the Coast Guard come out and do an airlift off the boat? And if at what range will they come out and do that if that should ever come up?
Yeah, absolutely. If it, excuse me, if it's a life or death situation, we have access to the Coast Guard and a flight surgeon, so we can give you know, the passengers' vital signs and what the problem is, and they can advise us on how to treat that person, and they make a determination as to whether or not they're going to send a chopper out. And we've been able to do that and get people to medical attention that way. And those guys that fly those choppers for the Coast Guard are just they're incredible. They are really, really good at what they do, and it's really, really great to know that the Coast Guard is there to help us when we need that sort of service. As far as distance is concerned, probably I think 250 miles is the outer limits of where they could reach us, and you know, obviously, when we have a medevac like that, they have us running back towards San Diego so that we can close that distance. But 250 miles, I think, is the max that they can send a chopper for a medevac.
I'll tell you. Go ahead.
Okay, well, that's really good to know. Hope the situation doesn't come up, but it's always good to know that they're there if needed. Absolutely,
yeah. They're awesome, and you know, fortunately, that's only happened, I think, a half a dozen times in my career, and so we're really, really lucky that it hasn't happened more than that.
One thing that's almost, I mean, it sounds dumb, but it's almost like a prideful thing to watch your buddies, you know, snap into action. But I've been on the boat for different boats over the years for a couple of medical emergencies, and it's cool to see how awesome a crew works together and how that training comes right back. I mean, from as low-keys of a situation, and I know that the search would be this way because your guys are so good at creating a fun, relaxed, easygoing atmosphere. It might be Aaron BSing with one of the guys and telling a joke and this, that, and the other, and just, you know, making it a family fun experience. That's what long-range fishing is. It's a fun, good time, and it's low-key, and it's lighthearted. And then if and when something like that happens, I mean, the snap of a finger, you watch those guys go into instant, this is what we do, and this is what the training, and this is how they handle the situation. And it's very rare that it happens, but it sure is good to know that those guys are so good at handling situations like that when they do come up, as rare as they are.
Yeah, true. You know, we're all CPR trained, and we have an AED on board and first aid, and, you know, we have a pretty extensive medical kit, and we renew all the prescription drugs every year to make sure that they're current. And And so we're trained in all that sort of stuff. And because, you know, there are times when we're a long ways from medical help, and so we have to jump into action. And so we have all that stuff on board, and it's great that we don't have to use it very often.
Exactly. Now, Dave, speaking of your Alaska trip, I was pretty impressed that in the middle of your trip, you came walking through the door at the tackle store at the landing, and I know that you didn't postpone, but you took a break from your big Alaskan adventure with you and your wife just so you could come fishing on the Searcher.
Oh, yes. Yeah, it's always quite a trip going with you guys. Really enjoyed it. Well, at that point, my wife and I kind of needed a break from each other, too, but it all worked out good.
That's awesome. Well, I'm glad it was such a great trip and appreciate you getting us started on the phones here this morning.
Good talking with you guys.
Thanks,
all right,
Dave.
Thanks a lot for the phone call. Hey, there he is. We're going to go down to the East Cape right now to Palmas de Cortez, part of our Let's Talk Hookup Fun Tournament. Pete's on the line. What's up, Pete?
Hey, good morning, Ricky. Good morning, Art. How's the show going?
So far,
going
so
well.
good. Phones are
Good morning,
absolutely
Pete.
packed.
All right. Good morning. Well, here I'm down in beautiful Los Barriles and standing on the main street here. We're going quadding today. We're at Quadman right here in the center of Los Barriles, getting our quads all lined up to head up to the waterfalls. And yesterday we took Rick Jensen from Sport Fishing Financial's beautiful new F-150 truck up to Punta Pescadero and went snorkeling, and absolutely incredible, crystal clear, 86-degree water. Incredible. I mean, we saw 40, 50 variety of fish. It was like diving in a tropical aquarium, and had lunch up there and decided, well, man, let's just do that. Let's rent quads and go do that again. So we're probably going to do that. But our group is fishing today. A lot of them fished yesterday, and today is the first day of the 22nd annual Let's Talk Hookup Palmas de Cortez Spectacular. Pretty good tuna fishing, a lot of variety, you know, from anywhere from 10 pounds to I think there was a 130-pounder caught yesterday off of Genren, Mark Rayer reported in.
Nice.
But a lot of variety of tuna, long runs. I guess they're fishing almost all the way to the Iman Bank, but some also fishing right off of La Ribera, so there's a wide spread of tuna. A few wahoo. There's been a lot of boat pressure down here, so the wahoo fishing has been down a little bit, but still chance to get wahoo and some small dorado around. A lot of marlin, blues, stripes, and sails. So we're expecting pretty good things here from the tournament today. The first day of fishing again today and tomorrow, the fishing days. And, of course, $500 up for grabs for the largest tuna, courtesy of the statewide stripes. Dave Brickett there, thanks very much. And $500 for the largest wahoo or dorado, courtesy of Rick Jensen from Sport Fishing Financial. We also have a trip to Palmas de Cortez to defend your title next year. We have a whole bunch of great custom-made, memorable lures from our good friends back there in North Carolina. And also, we have gift certificates to Fisherman's Landing Tackle. We have Maui Jim gift certificates. A great thing. We have 42 people participating in our tournament here, and just beautiful, beautiful, absolutely flat, calm, gorgeous weather down here. You know, kind of mid to high 80s during the day, and it's just fantastic. So, hey, before I'll give you a full report from the first day, we're going to actually be fishing tomorrow, and I'll give you a report from on the water tomorrow. But here's Rick Jensen with his Baja fish report. He's got it going here from Sport Fishing Financial. Great to have Rick down here. You guys have a great show today. Here's Rick.
All right, Pete.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Morning, Rick.
Morning.
Hey, well, we've been down here for a couple of weeks, kind of bouncing around, and got a few reports from the guys along the way.
Excellent.
Our latest was last week we were fishing with Genren here and got 10 tuna, all 50-pounders, all on the little Accurate Valiant, so we had a lot of fun with him. Back up the line, still Mag Bay continues to be the hot spot. I guess there was a little wind, but the long-range guys are there, and they're putting the wood to the wahoo day in, day out. La Bocana, the wahoo are moving up the line there, and mixing in with the yellowfin, yellowtail, and grouper. It's the time of year to be there. And up there towards La Bocana and Asuncion is going to start to really turn on. Jeff from Cedro Saco called in, said the yellowtail are showing a little smaller. And lots of kelps floating around with a few 10-pound dorado showing there. Bay of L.A., Captain Juan Cook from San Quintin Sport Fishing took a trip over there, and they just put out a nice show of cabria fishing, just as good as it gets.
They got a couple grouper in the mix and also managed a Dorado. I don't know, didn't get the details on that, but I don't know how the Dorado fishing really is, but at least they managed one. Ensenada, Colonet, Yellowfin, smaller Dorado, and Yellowtail showing up outside the bay there in Ensenada.
Awesome.
So lots going on.
Yeah, no
Fishing
kidding,
up and
Rick.
down. We're going to be heading back up the line, probably make a few stops and have another report next weekend.
That's awesome. Well, certainly some good fishing to be had up and down the peninsula, and sounds like you guys are really going to get into it over the next couple of days down there at Palmas de Cortez. We'll appreciate a great report and all the great information. If somebody wants to join you, I know Sport Fishing Financial does a lot of fun trips. Obviously, you've got groups of guys going down to this Palmas de Cortez, trips throughout the year. If somebody wants to get more information on all the things you do with Sport Fishing Financial and go fishing with a guy that's going to help them save some money, how do we do that?
Check me on the web at sportfishingfinancial.com or give me a call at 949-481-1807.
All right, Rick Jensen, appreciate that. Make sure you keep Pete and the boys in line down there. I know that's not going to be an easy task, but somebody's got to keep after him.
It's a lot of work, man. It's amazing we're already up today.
All right, Rick. Appreciate that. Glad you guys had a great time down there. Continued success, and hope you have a lot of fun. We'll look forward to hearing from Pete tomorrow to let us know how the first day of fishing's going.
Okay, guys.
All right, Rick. Thanks a lot for the phone call. All right, let's jump right back into the phones. They're packed up. Everybody's excited to talk to Art. And why don't we next up talk to Dave, who's calling us from Poway this morning. Good morning, Dave. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Good morning, Rick. Good morning, Art.
Morning, Dave.
Hey, Rick, you were saying about guys who have their first experience with long range on the Searcher. I'm in that category. I fished a lot of trips up to 3 days. This year in September was my first 6-day, and I took it on the Searcher, and what a great experience that was. When we came in the tackle store there, you announced that we were going to go to the Ridge, Art did, and the excitement was tangible. Getting ready for wahoo fishing. We just had a fantastic trip. What a great first experience. I was able to catch 4 species in 1 day. And, Art, I got to admit, when you came in the galley and said that the next day we were going to try to catch a wahoo for every passenger on board, I thought, oh, that's optimistic. But sure enough, we came within 2, but everybody was able to go home with a wahoo. And so that just kind of reinforces how much you really strive to make it a great experience for everyone. And I'm sold. I had a fantastic time, and I just wanted to call and say thanks.
Thank you, Dave.
Dave, I got to ask, were you one of the lucky guys? Did you check the wahoo off your list?
I did. I caught 2.
Oh, that's awesome. How cool is that?
did.
Like on a 6-day trip too, which is that's not a common fish to catch on a trip of that length.
No, it's not. This year is one of those kind of exceptions that we're headed down there again today. We're going to go back down there and try and get everybody on board a wahoo.
Well,
yeah. So thanks a million. It was fantastic. I rebooked for next year. Looking forward to that. And just a quick shout out. It's good to see you on Catalina this week. I fished with Brandon Hayward for lobster, and we had a great trip there too. So my fishing fix has been somewhat fulfilled here of late.
Dave, you're doing it right, man. Well, I'm glad you had such a good trip. Congrats, and I'm glad that you share the same thoughts that I do, because I'm with you. I don't think there's a much funner place to go fishing, especially on one of your first trips or your 100th trip than going on the Searcher.
Thank you, Dave.
You bet.
All right, Dave, thanks a lot for the phone call. Hey, with that, it's time to find out what's going on in the Baja. It's time for our Cast Tours Report. Today is sponsored in part by Terrafin Sea Surface Temperature Charts. Focus your offshore fishing in the most productive areas by using Terrafin. And now with Terrafin Mobile, you can take it with you on your iPad, on your iPhone, or in your Android device. Just download the latest charts before you leave, and all the information is going to be right there at your fingertips. Check Terrafin.com for more information. Let's talk to the cast man, Richard Castaneda from Cast Tours. Buenos dias, cast man.
Hey, buenos dias, Ricky. How you doing?
Hey, we're doing great, buddy. Wanting to know what's going on in the Baja.
Well, things are still going pretty well, and it looks like things are heating up. It's typical this time of year for that fall fishing down there at the tip of the Baja, San Jose del Cabo, of course, East Cape. You heard Pete's report, and then up around in the Pacific side there around Cabo San Lucas. And right in that area there, just outside the harbor and then heading north along the Baja coast there, they've been finding some pretty good Dorado bites, some nice fish up to 30 pounds, mixed in with some smaller tuna. Of course, there's been reports of some big blues being caught blues and blacks being caught this past week, so that looks good for the Bisbee Black and Blue tournament coming up. Reports of some 300 plus fish being hooked, and been some big ones that have been lost. Over in San Jose del Cabo, there the Gordo Bank still giving up a few big cow tuna, some up to 250, 300. And of course, up inside the Sea of Cortez, the Vinorama area, San Luis Banks there have been producing tuna too, some of them up to 50, 60 pounds. Not quite as hot as it was, but they're still pulling some nice fish out of there. Every now and then they'll pick up a wahoo. Seemed like the wahoo bite did slow down a bit. And, of course, there's still striped marlin in the area. But if you want the big tuna, you got to get over to the Gordo Bank. That seems to where the bigger fish are holding, and you got to be trolling those live bolitas and small bonitas around that bank. Over in Ixtapas y Montenejo there, they've had some really good dorado fishing, which is kind of unusual for this time of year. But just right where the blue water meets the darker water, they've been getting a pretty good dorado bite, some nice bulls, 30, 35, 40 pounds. Sailfish still hanging in there, and inshore seemed like there was a really good roosterfish bite going. Some nice big fish up to 30, 40 pounds. So some good fishing going on there inside along the surf line there. Anyway, that's a report for this week, Ricky.
Hey, all good, buddy.
But we'll talk to you next Saturday, and be good to hear what Pete has to say, how the tournament went for them down there. Talking about wahoo, we've got 40 anglers signed up for our annual Wahoo Rumble down on San Jose del Cabo, November 4 to 8. I may be able to scratch one more boat if somebody's interested in joining us. They can give us a call at Cast Tours at 800-593-6510, or check us out on the web at www.casttours.com, and I'll talk to you guys next Saturday.
Cass, great report. Appreciate that very much. Some very good fishing down south, and couldn't agree with you more, man. Time to go down and do it. Appreciate a great report. We'll look forward to talking to you next week.
Will do, Rick. Take care.
All right, Cass, man. Thanks a lot for that. Hey, when we come back, we got a lot more Let's Talk Hookup coming your way. There's one open phone line if you want it. That's 858-457-1090. We got a lot more Let's Talk Hookup coming your way right here on the mighty 1090.
Want to catch the yellowfin tuna of a lifetime but don't have weeks at a time to commit trying? Then check out Journeyman Sport Fishing in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. Based in Nuevo Vallarta, Journeyman offers an angling dream come true. Outstanding world-class fishery, immaculately maintained and outfitted boat, ultra-limited competition at the rail, and a Journeyman crew that has the experience and passion to make your angling dreams reality. A 2.5 day trip offers 2 full days of fishing from sunup to sundown and only requires 4 days away from your other commitments. In the 2013 season, Journeyman landed dozens of yellowfin over 200 pounds and several over 300. Choose the trip that fits your schedule. 2.5, 3.5, up to 8 days of the ultimate fishing for giant yellowfin tuna. For complete details, check the web at journeymansportfishing.com or contact 619-571-1979. Journeyman Sport Fishing, where angling dreams become reality.
The Southwest Council of the International Federation of Fly Fishers invites anyone and everyone to its annual fly fishing fair, Friday, October 14th through Sunday, October 16th in Bishop, California. Pick from a stacked list of seminars, events, and classes offered by some of the biggest experts in the region on fly tying, fly casting, and fly fishing techniques, tailored for beginner and experienced anglers alike. And while you're at it, spend some time on the water at local hotspots with some of the area's top guides while learning innovative techniques and practices. Mark your calendar now for October 14th to 16th at the Tri-County Fairgrounds in Bishop. Registration opens October 14th at Southwest Council IFFF.org. Tickets are $15 for individuals and $20 for families, good for all 3 days. Check the website for lodging and information and more. Southwest Council IFFF.org or the links page at hookup1090.com. See you in October in the heart of the Eastern Sierra.
Lobster season's here. It's time to gear up with the best in the business, Promar. Based in SoCal, Promar knows lobster and makes everything you need to catch these tasty critters. The Promar guys are hardcore lobster fishermen and have all styles of hoop nets, including the new Ambush XL 36-inch rigid hoop net, the largest allowed by law. Visit Promar on Facebook or on the web at promarnets.com.
If the fish are biting, I'm on my boat, rain or shine. Of course, I wear my life jacket. It's like wearing a seatbelt. Clip it on, grab my tackle box, and hit the water.
Love California, vote California, save California. A message from California State Parks Division of Boating and Waterways.
This is Captain Tim Ekstrom from the long-range vessel Royal Star. With my partners Randy Toussaint and Brian Sims, we have set the bar of the long-range fishing experience. A spring 8-day, summer 5-day, or a fly-down, fly-back 11-day winter trip, we deliver the highest quality long-range voyage you will find. From our premium RSW fish storage to our top-of-the-line chefs and crew, Royal Star distinguishes itself from all others. Want to grab a spot on the Royal Star? Check us out at RoyalStarSportFishing.com or call Tracy at 619-224-4764.
Saturday, November 5th, it's Tackle Day at Fisherman's Landing in San Diego. It's our largest sale ever. Plenty of seminars by saltwater experts, incredible deals on tackle, closeouts we've never offered before. Plus, over 20 tackle manufacturers representatives like Shimano, with great reels like Talica, Tranx, Trinidad A, and Twin Power. We also have a great selection of the new Terramar rods by Shimano. Tackle Day at Fisherman's Landing will have unbelievable pricing on tackle, clothing, and accessories. There is also a huge raffle, best ever tackle bargains at Tackle Day at Fisherman's Landing, Saturday, November 5th.
XEPRS 1090 AM, Rosarito, Baja California.
The best NFL coverage is right here. San Diego sports leader, the mighty 1090.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup on the Mighty 1090. Phones are packed. Everybody's excited to talk to Art. And, hey, we're excited to tell you, coming up, join Let's Talk Hookup and the whole crew for a special live broadcast at the Kona Kai Resort on Shelter Island in San Diego. It's coming up Saturday, October the 22nd. It's going to be from 7 to 9 a.m. We're going to have several special guests joining us, talking about the resort, the fantastic marina, the fishing, and so much more. And in addition, the Kona Kai Resort is going to be giving everyone in attendance a free breakfast, including Bloody Marys and mimosas for those that are 21 years and older. It's going to be a really fun time. Plus, we're going to be giving away great prizes. We're going to be giving away room nights, spa services, dining gift cards at the Kona Kai Resort, Maui Jim sunglasses, some Olakai sandals, and a whole lot more. It's going to be a very, very fun morning. So join us Saturday, October the 22nd from 7 to 9 a.m. at the Kona Kai Resort for a special live broadcast and lots of fun, food, and prizes. Phones are packed up. Everybody wants to talk to Art. We're going to jump right back into them and talk to Brett, who's called us from Winchester this morning. Brett, good morning. Thanks for joining us here on Let's Talk Hookup.
Good morning, Rick. Good morning, Art.
Good morning, Brett.
I'd like to know what you do to prep for fishing and what you're actually doing when you're looking for fish. I mean, before you leave the docks, when you get to the fishing grounds, I mean, from glassing to looking at radar, what are you doing up there in the wheelhouse?
Wow. Well, we're looking for all sorts of signs. You know, we're trolling, hoping to maybe locate a school with trolling lures, and we have a Furuno state-of-the-art sonar and depth sounder that we use that is a necessary tool that we don't leave the dock without, and we have, crew members in the mast looking for kelps and birds and jumping fish and that sort of thing. And it kind of depends on which sort of trip we're on, where we're headed. But that's kind of it in a nutshell. It's a long day up there from 4 o'clock in the morning till 10 at night. And, we're also, we have a complete network of that we communicate with all the long-range boats on current information, real-time information, and when we leave the dock, we have this network that we can check with the boats that are on the grounds at the time, and so we know where to go and maybe where not to go, and so we're looking for temperature breaks, water temperature breaks, where the there might be a change in temperature, or there might be a change in water color and that sort of thing. And fortunately, we have Terrafin to download maps at the dock and take that with us and get an idea of where the best spot might be. But there's a lot going on.
Yeah, no doubt. You brought up two things here that I'd love to talk about. One that maybe people aren't aware is, and it's not new because you've had it for several years now, but how much better, boat-to-boat communication is with satellite dispatch and things like that. I mean, virtually any one of your colleagues, no matter where they're at, how long of a trip, how short of a trip, you at home, and the push of a button, the communication is, I know, far better than it ever was in the past.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow, there's so much value in that, I mean, if I want to call Andy Cates on the Red Rooster, just dial his number up and talk to Andy and find out what he's doing, or if I want to talk to Ray on the American Angler, it's all via satellite, and so that's a huge tool for us. Before we leave the dock, we're checking in with what's going on that day and where and how many they caught or didn't catch, and so that network is huge.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the other thing that I want to talk about is you talked about it, and I know that we all know about it and we hear about it, and we hear every time Captain Art or Captain Aaron calls in, you hear the clicking in the background of the sonar. But explain that for, there's a lot of us that come fishing with you that we don't know what the difference is, or we hear the clicking in the sonar, but as best you can on the radio, explain what a sonar is and what that clicking that we all hear, every time you call in the report, we always hear it in the background, but explain that a little bit, because like you say, that's an amazing fishing tool that is not new, but a lot of us probably aren't aware of what goes on.
Well, picture a searchlight, that's going back and forth 180 degrees out in front of the boat, and that is variable, from 400 to 800 feet, We primarily run ours at 500 or 600 feet, and it's, just picture a searchlight going back and forth, and the noise that you hear is the audio portion of it. So, we know what it sounds like when there's nothing on the screen. Mm-hmm. And then when there's a school of fish, then there's a change in the pitch that brings it to our attention. So we can keep the binoculars up and continue to look for birds or kelps and just listen.
Just keep that ear open.
Yeah. And so when there's a change, it can be one fish, it can be 10 fish, it can be a big school of fish, and so that's the audio portion of the sonar that we have going all the time there in the background.
Click. And then when there's something that isn't click, you can quickly look at the screen, assess where it is, and the sonar is looking all the way around where it's doing the same thing that your up and down fathometers, but it's looking
out in front and to the side.
Okay.
Yeah. And when we're traveling, then we have just 180 degrees, and when we stop and drift, then we can put it on 360 degrees, so it looks all around us. So we know what's around us, how much is around us, what kind of fish is around us, and it's an invaluable tool. And like I say, you can vary the distance, you can vary how deep you want it, and there's several settings in that thing that make it so that you can find fish with it. That's what it does. Yep.
And very effective.
Yes, absolutely.
That's cool.
Yep.
Brett, those answer your questions for you?
Hey, I got one more. When you're saying you know what kind of fish it is that just from seasoning, from looking at that sonar, or you already know beforehand? I mean, how do you know what kind of fish they are?
Well, it's seasoning. I guess you could say that. It's longevity. If you're looking at a sonar for 14 hours a day, a couple hundred days a year, you get accustomed to what a bluefin tuna looks like on the sonar and what it looks like on the depth sounder and what a yellowtail looks like and so you get to differentiate between different species and so you just get accustomed to that. Yeah. First timer wouldn't know. You'd know that there was a fish on the sonar, but till you actually landed one, then you could say, oh, well, that must have been a bluefin, or that must have been a yellowtail, or something along those lines. Yeah.
It's always funny to see, same deal. You might be in the wheelhouse on a 5-day trip, asking Captain Art a question about fluorocarbon and nothing going on. We wouldn't see it. And the second that you hear that sonar scratch or something different, like, boy, that's a noise that's got to be so ingrained in your guys' mind, because I've seen you, like you say, just in a perfect world talking about this or knots or whatever, to instantly on the screen, and it's a subconscious thing that you guys are real good at.
Yeah, and a note for everybody. Everybody comes up there when you're traveling around and you're not catching anything. So I would, take a break when you're in a stop and go up to the wheelhouse and check out what fish look like on the sonar and the depth sounder. That way you know. I mean, everybody comes up and says, so tell me what a fish looks like. Well, we're not around any fish, so, come back when we got some fish. And I try, if we've had a good stop and it's towards the end of the stop, I get on the PA and say, okay, for all you guys that want to know what a fish looks like on the sonar,
get up here.
It takes 30 seconds to go up the ladder and check it out, and I would encourage everybody to do that.
Heck yeah, that's cool. Hey, Brett, appreciate the phone call very much. Thanks a lot. Good luck on your next trip. Let's jump right back into them. This time we're going to talk to Janice, called us from San Diego this morning. Hey, Janice, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you. I actually just got off the ultra-limited load, the 5-day this morning with the Searcher.
Oh, right on.
Good morning, Janice. How are you? Sorry I wasn't there to meet the boat, but I had a prior engagement.
That's all right. I mean, it was a great trip. We got so many different species of fish. We traveled for a day and a half and got to San Benito's Island, and it was just amazing fishing there. The water quality was fantastic.
Awesome.
That's cool.
So I hope the crew took good care of you.
They did. I mean, it was amazing just to have 11 passengers on your boat. There was so much room for everybody to spread out, and the food is just unbelievably good. I mean, the cooks that you have just, you feel like you're in a restaurant with the quality of the food.
Well, thanks, Janice. Charlie does a great job. We're lucky to have him.
Yeah.
Janice, I have to ask, what is it like to wake up in the morning on a morning bite to be fishing on the Searcher and look around and only have 10 other passengers standing side by side to you?
It's unbelievable. There's no fighting to get in position. A couple of times everybody was, hooked up, so it was just chaos. But, with so few people on that size of a boat, it was just amazing.
That's so cool.
Yesterday we got into a Dorado bite, and it was actually like a dance on the end of the boat with everybody hooked up, the fish flying over the rails, fish in the water. It was just, unbelievably good.
That's cool.
Well, thanks for coming, Janice.
So, and I was also on the 3-day Lady Angler trip, and that was just so much fun with how much the crew helps. That's the other thing I really like about the Searcher is the crew is just so helpful. You've got your hook and hand, program where the crew will hook a fish and hand off to maybe the less experienced, and that's just a nice feature that I don't really see on other boats.
That's cool. Janice, sounds like you guys had a fantastic trip. Really glad to hear it, and glad you got to enjoy in that super ultra limited load and the Lady Anglers trip. But that's another thing, Art, you and Celia and Aaron and the whole crew, you do a lot of fun and unique trips too. It's not. I don't want to say just the same old thing, because just the same old thing is awesome. But it's cool to see fun, different opportunities like that.
Yeah, thank you.
That's cool. Janice, glad you had such a great trip. Thanks for giving us a call this morning.
All right, thank you.
All right,
thanks,
appreciate
Janice.
that very much. All right, how about we jump right back into him, talk to Paul. He's called us from El Cajon this morning. Good morning, Paul. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Morning,
Paul.
So I had a quick comment I wanted to say. I went out on the Liberty on Thursday, and I just want to say that is an amazing boat. And it's even more amazing when there's only 15 people on it. It was a great trip. The yellow fishing was a little bit tough down at the islands, but I just wanted to throw compliments out there to Taro on really, really great boat and a well-versed crew on taking care of the passengers.
That's great. They did a beautiful job with that boat. I know they put a lot of hard work and a lot of money into it, but it sure turned out nice, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. It's a great boat. Question for you, Art. So I've done a number of overnight, day and a half, even 2.5-day trips, and was wondering what the main difference I might expect on going on something like a 5 or a 6-day trip. What would be different for me in terms of gear? What might I expect, from a pace of fishing to be different than a day and a half or a 2.5 day? Kind of break down some of the differences between those trip lengths.
Great question.
Well, as far as gear is concerned, you want to have probably a minimum of 4 outfits, 25, 40, 50 or 60, and maybe an 80-pound outfit for a dropper loop setup. And, the big difference between those trips and a 5 or 6 day trip is you got more fishing time, and and you have the capability of traveling a little bit further to get to the fish. Whereas if you got a 3-day trip and there's not much around, if you got a 5-day trip and you have to go to San Benito or Cedros or San Pablo or something like that, then you have that capability. So there's a little bit more travel time, but you're going to get to a different area, which is going to provide you more opportunities. And I would definitely make sure that I have at least a couple of 2-speed outfits, because you never know what's happening as far as what species you're going to catch and what size that is. So make sure that you've got some 2-speed outfits that maybe a 50 and a 60-pound thing. And then, the yo-yo lures for yellowtail, make sure that you got, 6 or 8 Salas 6X Juniors, blue and whites in your tackle box to make sure that you're prepared for that. And, one thing that we have on board is, you can purchase tackle as you need it if you run short or you don't have it, and I think most of the boats have that as well. And, you can go to our website and see the suggested minimum tackle that we have for trips of that length, and that would give you kind of a basis for where you would start with minimum tackle suggestions. You can go to searchersportfishing.com and see that. But, it's more fishing time. It's a little bit more relaxed than a day and a half or a 2-day, because you have the extra time there to get where you need to go to catch something. And if the fishing's close by, then you just have more time in that area. So it's definitely something to consider. More fishing time is primarily what I would say.
Paul used a great word in his question, asking what the difference was in the pace of fishing, and I think that's it. That's why I think what I like so much about going on a multi-day trip on the Searcher is you don't feel like you're rushed. I've got 6 hours to have every opportunity to catch this fish, and then our fishing day is done, and that's that. And on a multi-day trip like that, you just think everybody moves at a slightly, not at a slower pace as in it's inappropriate, but there's not that rush of feel of my trip's almost over. You've got multiple days to enjoy the weather and enjoy the fishing and enjoy the camaraderie and enjoy the people that are next to you, and you just have more time to get to enjoy it all.
Yeah, the total experience, exactly, yeah.
And the other thing that I would say is typically, and correct me if I'm wrong, typically on an offshore day and a half to 3 day or a day and a half to 3 day trip, most of the time you're going to be spent drifting offshore. And on a 5 or 6 day, you're going to get oftentimes to experience some type of island fishing on the anchor.
True.
Where the fishing is different. It's the same general thing, but different if you're anchored up in a cool Baja island somewhere and fishing on the anchor and catching yellowtail than fishing offshore, for tuna.
Absolutely, I would agree.
Paul, have a great trip. Appreciate the phone call and great question very much. If you want to get your opportunity to get through, it's been a busy morning, but we do have an open phone line, your chance to talk to Captain Art, and your shot at winning a brand new pair of Maui Jim sunglasses. 858 area code 457-1090. That's our local number, or toll free 877-792-1090. When we come back, we got a lot more Let's Talk Hookup coming your way. Another full hour. We're going to check in with the catch report, find out what's biting up and down the beach, and a lot more of your phone calls. You stay tuned. You're listening to Let's Talk Hookup with Captain Art Taylor of the Searcher right here on the mighty 1090.
Get it all at Dana Landing in Mission Bay. It's truly the one-stop shop for a great day on the water. Looking for a fishing charter? Dana Landing had you covered with several boats, including the new Blackjack, perfect for 2 to 4 anglers, and the Impulse that will carry up to 6 anglers in comfort and style. Dana Landing has a huge tackle shop with everything you need to go fish bay bass, tuna, or marlin, plus expert anglers on staff to help. They even have Mexican and California fishing licenses and reel repair. The deli at Dana Landing is a local's favorite with all the food, ice, and beverages you need. When it comes to freshwater tackle, East County Bait and Tackle is the spot for a great day on the lake. the ultimate in rods and reels, the latest freshwater lures, and live bait. ECBT has a staff second to none when it comes to sharing their passion for fishing. ECBT is at the end of the 67 freeway on Mapleview in Lakeside, and Dana Landing is right across from SeaWorld next to the Dana Launch Ramp in Mission Bay. Check DanaLanding.com for more details.
It's time to get excited about fishing, and Point Loma Sport Fishing has everything you'll need. They offer half-day and three-quarter-day trips daily, perfect for families and the novice or seasoned fishermen. Point Loma Sport Fishing also offers overnight to multi-day trips, targeting the best of seasonal catches. Visit their website at pointlomasportfishing.com, where you can purchase tickets online and get more information on the trips available, or call 619-223-1627.
Here's John Ireland for Rancho Leonero.
Rancho Leonero is very family-oriented. People have brought their children down, and now they're bringing their children. It's not unusual to have 3 generations of family at the hotel. Grandpa, Dad, and normally sons, sometimes daughters. The families come back year after year, and it's a safe place for the kids. It's small, it's intimate, right on the water, 2 miles of beachfront. The water's very shallow in front. There's no currents to speak of, no waves. We have child care, $10 a day for a babysitter. Security is high at Rancho Leonero. It's really unnecessary, but it adds up comfort level. And we really do encourage the families. It's a great place for family reunions, family get-togethers, weddings. We do it all. 1-800-646-2252, 646-BAJA. And RanchoLeonero.com. There's nowhere that I could think of to have the same atmosphere and the same experience that you get at Rancho Leonero. We love families.
XEPRS 1090 AM Rosarito, Baja California.
You're listening to the home of the Aztecs.
He's gone. Touchdown, Aztecs.
San Diego sports leader, the mighty 1090.
Fisherman's Landing is the top choice in local and long-range fishing. Hi, this is Doug Kern. Our hardworking crew is always looking for ways to improve your fishing experience. We offer the finest open party trips from 1 to 3 days, the best charter boats available, and of course, our world-renowned long-range fleet is second to none. We are proud to say Fisherman's Landing is now a full-service sport fishing operation, offering half-day trips on the Dolphin, and now, for the first time in the long history of Fisherman's Landing, we have 3-quarter-day open party trips on the Liberty. We built the Liberty specifically to offer a better experience. Run by veteran captain Taro Takeuchi, the 85-foot Liberty is the first open party 3-quarter-day boat to offer bunks for your comfort. She also has huge bait capacity and RSW fish holds to keep your catch fresh. Plus, Liberty has a big galley and 2 interior heads with showers. Our open party trips from half-day, 3-quarter-day, or 1 to 3 day trips can be easily booked online at fishermanslanding.com or give us a call at 619-221-8500. I'll see you at Fisherman's Landing in San Diego.
Yamaha's Why Wait for Spring Fall Sales event is here. For a limited time, eligible new 90 to 300 horsepower 4-strokes include 6 years of warranty protection. And eligible new 2.5 to 75 horsepower 4-strokes get you up to $600 in dealer credit. Reliability starts here. Yamaha. Offer ends November 22nd, 2016. Subject to change at any time. Other restrictions and conditions apply. Choice offered to Florida residents is a 36-month Yamaha limited warranty. See authorized participating Yamaha outboard dealers for details. This promotion cannot be used with any other Yamaha offer.
This time of year, the fishing offshore is hit and miss. Some days you struggle, the other days you come home with your limit of yellowfin. Believe me, you never know. But unlike the unpredictability of fishing, you can always count on Ford F-Series pickups. America's best-selling trucks, 39 years and counting. One reason F-150 is so popular with fishermen is the high-strength military-grade aluminum body panels. Chevy, Dodge, and Toyota bodies will all eventually rust, but not F-150. Its body panels won't rust ever. That's pretty important for folks like us that launch boats on a regular basis. And F-150's revolutionary body is bolted to a solid steel frame to make it stronger, more capable, and more efficient than ever. When it comes to trucks, fishermen and fisherwomen can always rely on Ford. And right now is a great time to buy. Special incentives have just been announced. That means bigger savings and lower payments on F-150. Log on to their new website, buyfordnow.com, for all the details. That's buyfordnow.com. Then stop by your nearest San Diego County Ford dealer. They'll be glad to hook you up.